Good evening, welcome to a special recorded edition of Last Bell Boxing. This evening or this afternoon, depending on your time zone, we are joined by the legend James Hagler. Good afternoon or good evening, James.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem, man. Anytime.
Jolly good. Okay, so let's move on. So it'd be remiss of me not to talk about your father before we launch into your activities, if that's okay with you.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
So my first question: what was it like growing up with a legend of a dad like Marvin Hagler?
Well, first of all, he was my father, so it was great. He was really, he ruled the house with an iron fist, and it was all about him making it, and we all was on board with that. So when it was time to eat dinner, we ate what he ate. We knew when he was going to training camp because our menu changed.
Boy, did he make it, James! Right, he went right to the top of the sport.
Yes.
So, you must have had conversations with Marvin throughout the years. Any memorable ones about who maybe was his toughest fighter or who he respected the most in the sport? Anything like that?
Well, yeah. I mean, we had a lot of conversations about all kinds of different things, and one of the things that I remember him telling me all the time, and I put it on Facebook on a post because I heard Tyrese saying this, what I'm saying, and it just reflected to me about what my dad used to say, because what reflected to me was when Tyrese said everything, the girls are going to be there, the clubs are going to be there, all that's going to be there. I remember my dad telling me the same thing. He would say to me, hey, give yourself a chance. All that stuff that you're doing right now, it's going to be there when you get there. It's going to be even greater. Just give yourself a chance. And, those are during the times when I was running the streets and I had one foot in the gym and one foot in the street. And they were just trying to tell me if you're going to be a fighter, give yourself a chance. You only need one girl. You just need one woman. But what he didn't understand was it's hard to find that Adrian.
Yeah.
Especially when your dad's already world champion and he's a legend already and you're famous. It's hard to dissect which girl is truthful. So my moms would say to me, she would say, you know what, the girl has to want the same thing. Your ships have to sail in the same direction. See, with me and your dad, I want the same things he wanted. He wanted to be champ. I want to be champ. Same thing with you guys. He wanted to be champ. You guys want to be champ. That's why it all worked. So those are the type of things that I heard in my household a lot as a teenager.
Everybody pulling in the same direction, James.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the only way it works.
So obviously you went from 1980 to 87 as undisputed champion. What a ride that must have been,
Oh, it was. It was exciting and exhilarating. Just to know that if he doesn't do it this time, that it's over for him. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't. We was on edge, but we knew that he was determined, and we knew that there was nothing going to get in the way. He set out to do whatever he said that he was going to do. He did it. So he set out to do that. If he said, like, when the first and the formal fight, when that fight came, he was like, man, okay. Came back home. He said, you know what? The next time I got to take it because they're not going to give it to me. And he told me, he said, hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to take it. They're not going to give it to you all the time. So sometimes you just got to go out there and take it. He said, that's what I'm going to do the next time. They give me another shot, I'm taking it. There's no doubt about it. Hands down, it's mine. And that was his mind frame from day one until it happened.
I'm not just saying it, James, but it was actually my dad, who's passed away now, unfortunately. My dad's favourite fighter of the Four Kings. And in them days in the UK, he used to have to get up and go to the local cinema to watch it on closed circuit TV, wow. Right? But he'd be very tired the next day for work, let's put it that way. But it gave my dad a lot of memories. So, full respect. What a fighter. What a fighter.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. But you had some very good dance partners as well, right? You got to have a dance partner, haven't you?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I said he had some very good opponents, as in dance partners. You know, some very good opponents during that era as well, right?
Definitely, yes, definitely. It's one thing about what I'm trying to do is with my boxing promotions is, and now I got to think about it a lot. You know what I'm saying? How I want to come out, how I want to portray myself, and all those things. And I know one thing, and I read this in the paper, and I didn't not in the paper. I think I read it online somewhere, and somebody did a documentary on my dad, and they said that well they threw marvelous, the Petronellis threw him in there in the Lions Den, and the matchmaking was crazy and all, and I never thought about it that way. I really haven't. I just know that Dad said he had to go over there to make some money, and if he wanted to be the best, he had to beat the best.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, that was his frame of mind. So okay. So but when I'm reading this and I'm like, okay, wow. So he was a journeyman, trying to be an opponent for other guys. But these guys didn't know how tough he was.
Yeah, he took on all oncomers, right? He didn't back down from nobody, did he?
Well, yeah, because that's the only way he was going to make the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it like this. So what I'm looking to do is find guys to put on my event that are willing to put it on the line. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to build no fighters. I'm not doing. I don't want to do that. If I'm doing that, it's my own fighters that I sign. But as far as anybody else, when you come on the event, I need you to be ready to put it on the line. So if you're 6-0, all right, you're ready to be tested. You need to fight on my event. And you get paid well to do it. And that's what I'm trying to do, because that's what my dad did. My dad put it on the line every time he fought. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking for someone of that caliber to really get behind. So it's going to be interesting how this unfolds. But I think that a lot of fighters out there have a lot to prove. If you don't have anything to prove, you're not in this sport. I mean, why you're in the sport? So I think a lot of fighters that, at that level, you're fighting those 4-rounders, 6-rounders, 8-rounders, got a lot to prove. So why not prove it in your backyard? Why not let everybody know that you are that guy?
And the last one regarding Marvin, what a beautiful touch for Brockton to put a statue up for him recently. Beautiful touch, right?
Yeah, that was an event of its own, and I thought that the statue was well deserved, and it should have been earlier. I wish he could have seen it. You know what I'm saying? And I wish that we as the family could have had more influence on the statue, because the way they built the statue is kind of, you have to look at it at an angle to see his face.
Okay.
So it's like he's like this, you know what I'm saying? So you have to catch it from this side or underneath, you know what I'm saying? Because you're driving by, you'll just see this. So we, as a family, we really didn't like that. And the city of Brockton didn't have us involved as far as to pull the drape off the statue, and we were just very disappointed in that. And we thought that the kids should have been involved in that, you know what I mean? But they had us sitting in the back. We didn't like it. So we're definitely going to come out and make a statement about it at some point in time.
Okay, so moving on to you then, James, because I really don't know where to start with you, to be honest, mate. Filmmaker, promoter, God knows what else you got your fingers in the pies. You helping your mum do her story, and etc. Phil, you must. I don't know where you find time to sleep. But let's go on to the promotion side first. So obviously you launched a promotion company in 2017. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm getting ready. I got to be careful how I talk about it, because it's real close, and I need to make sure that all my T's are crossed and my I's are dotted. So I'm looking forward to doing this. And like I said, I'm trying to see what the best way to portray myself, and to let everybody know that I'm very serious about moving some serious fighters. And I'm not jumping out and just trying to do it big. I'm just going to start off small and get my ticket sales up, so to say, and then go out to sponsors and then do it. Because what I'm trying to do is do something like Turk. You know what I'm saying? The way Turk does a show. I like the way he does a show. But what Turk don't understand, I don't know if he knows or not, but the promoters used to do this in like 2007, in early 90s, I think it was, I think late 90s, 2000, they would do the show, and then they would do an after party. And the after party might have, you might have a guest, a singer or a rapper come out and perform. They used to do it like that, and I thought that was dope. So the last thing that Turk did was great. I thought that show was phenomenal that he put together. We had Eminem perform. That was real big that he did that. So, and another thing is that we want to take care of the fighters too. So I'm very interested in making sure that these fighters get paid real well on a smaller level. You know what I'm saying? We got to ante it up. We got to take care of the fighters. I'm also involved with the ABA. That's the American title, just like every other country has their own title. The American Boxing Association is one of them, and we're looking to take care of the fighters, and that's the main thing. And we're looking into, insurance for the fighters. It's crazy because when I talked to a couple of insurance companies about this, and we was talking about getting fighters insurance, and insurance said, well, the reason why you guys might have trouble with it is because these guys are fighting, and and then I'm like, okay, yeah, they're using their hands. All right, okay. Well, what about Gordon Ramsay? He's got $5 million on each hand, and he's cutting knives, and he ain't using cutting glove. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
So what are you talking about? So it could be done, and they said the same thing. It could be done. It might be expensive, but
it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge globally, isn't it, for the boxing industry? Because in the UK, we've looked at it regarding pensions for fighters as well when they finish fighting. It's a real challenge, right? Especially as you go down the levels of boxing.
Right, and one thing the ABA is doing is that the money that they charge the fighters is they give it back to the fighters and they put it in the IRA. So let's say the fighter go fight for the WBC fights, go fight for one of the big belts. He still can keep that IRA, and he doesn't have to fight for us anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's a way that fighters can put their money into their IRA and have a nest egg, just in case something happens or when they retire. So that's one of the great things about the ABA that I like when I got approached to work with them, and they want to do this. So this was huge, and we're still trying to work out the kinks. We're still trying to get things right, and and looking for sponsors and things of that nature. So things really move once I launch.
It is quite a fragmented piece in America, isn't it, James, with the different commissions, etc. Whereas in the UK, I know it's not perfect, but we've got the British Boxing Board of Control, obviously, who kind of manage it in Britain. Is that when they say they want to unify the boxing industry? Is that what they're trying to do then? Bring all parties around the table for the better of the sport?
Well, it's really, I think they want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I would think they want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I think they need a little encouragement. Somebody's got to come in and make sense of it and do it where they would follow their lead. And that's what we hope. That's what we hope to do with the ABA. If you're WBC and you're taking you're taking 3% out of the fighter's purse, what are you using that money for?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That money could go into insurance for the fighters. That money can do a lot of things for the fighters. You know what I'm saying? Especially somebody get hurt and die. Excuse me. Somebody get hurt and they die. And what about their family? And then to get hurt like Gerald McCullen, okay, now he's got to be taken care of. What are you doing for that guy? You know what I mean? That all that money. So it's interesting, and they don't tell you what they're doing with it.
No. I mean, anything can be done, can't it, when you get the right people around the table? Because who would have thought Frank Warren would be working with Eddie Hearn like he is doing recently?
Right.
So anything can be achieved.
Right, and that's why I like Turk. That's why I love Turk. Turk is for the fighters. I can't wait.
No nonsense.
Say it again.
No nonsense from Turkey Al Sheikh, is there? No nonsense.
Right, exactly, and that's what I love about him. When when I heard he came around, I get goosebumps when I talk about him because I love what he's doing. I want to be a part of that and be a pioneer. That's great. We're moving in the right direction with him, definitely.
Well, he's taking fights to China allegedly, and play, it's changing the landscape of boxing, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Well, like my dad said, if you're a world champion, you gotta fight everybody.
Well, I mean, the sort of money he'll be making over in Saudi Arabia, if he was around nowadays, right? If he was around,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
he would have lined them up, wouldn't he? He would have lined them up.
Oh, I know.
So,
I know.
Coming on to your reality TV program, I don't know how much you can talk about this at the minute, Celebrity Making of a Champion. I know you've had this idea for a little while now, haven't you? And you've been working through putting it together. Where are we with that at the minute?
Well, with that coming on, it wasn't my project. I was part of it. Right now, I don't have any idea of which way it's going to go, but I leave the door open. So, you know what I'm saying? So, when they get ready to make a move, I still be a part of it. Right now, I can't speak on it because it's not in my hands. I was just being a part of it,
I just love the concept because I can remember the Contender Series, and it had a certain UK fighter in called Paul Smith Jr. Don't you remember that?
Right. And everybody loves the title of that. Yeah. I get a lot of people telling me, "Hey, why don't you go ahead and take it over? Why don't you?" Look, man, that's not what I want to do. I'm out my lane if I go that way. You know what I'm saying? I got to stay right here. And that's what I'm trying to do.
And I'd imagine, using a British term, it would cost a few quid as well. But you'd need quite deep pockets, I'd imagine, James, putting something like that together, right?
No doubt.
So, final topic. I don't want to keep you too long today. I really appreciate you joining. It is James Hagler Jr. So, another Hagler making his way in the boxing game.
Right.
A little bit heavier than Marvin, though, isn't he, in terms of weight division?
Yes.
So, what are the plans? What's your involvement? Are you managing Junior, or are you just advising? Helping out? I know you had quite. Right. You had aspirations to get to the Olympics, and you was no slouch in the ring. A good amateur career, etc. So, what's your involvement with Junior?
Well, with Junior, okay, I put it to you like this. It's hard to talk because I get it's emotional. It's emotional.
It's your boy,
right. So what it is, you remember Oscar De La Hoya, right? You know how Oscar De La Hoya's father was about Oscar, right?
Yes.
Well, now that's how I am about Junior, because Junior got to prove. He's got a lot to prove to himself, to me. You know what I'm saying? Until the people that's following him.
James, can I ask you a blunt question? Do you think the Hagler surname's weighing heavy on Junior? It's a big name to carry around, right?
Right, it is, but I just don't think. I don't think it's heavy on him. I just think that because he knows what to do, and he's talked to me, he's talked to my dad plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? My dad knew he was fighting before he passed away. And we just got to see, Junior do what he's supposed to do.
It's a tough sport, though, to make it in, James, isn't it? You know that when the business side of it's not easy, is it?
Right. Well, I got his back on that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. As far as the business side, I'm always looking in on that, and I'm there for him when it comes to that. But all the other stuff is on him. He's got to. Right. He's got it. You want to do this, and you know the right way to do it. So do it. You know what I'm saying? Do it. Take this serious. I always tell them, take it serious, because if you don't, you can get hurt in there.
Yeah. You don't play boxing.
You get really hurt in there. So, to take heed, you know what it takes to get there. You got all everything's in your ball, in your court. So play ball. You know what I'm saying?
You can pass all that experience on to him, though. He's a lucky guy to have you in his corner, though, right?
Yes. Most definitely.
Especially on the business side, James, because from when I see it, some people can get taken advantage of quite easily, can't they, in the fight game?
Yeah. If you don't know what you're doing, you will get taken advantage of. Most definitely. And I've taught my son, and I showed him. Not only taught him, but I showed him how things can be. You know what I'm saying? And he's seen it. He know what to do. And I have to tell him, I said, listen, you have to know your worth. You know what I'm saying? The guys tell you, well, I don't need you to be on my card to sell tickets. Then you say, okay, well, this is what it takes. You know, like an example. I'll give you an example. An example when he fought in Massachusetts. I said, you tell those guys you need at least 2,500 to come up there. At least 2,500. That's what's going to get you there. If not, then you don't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just plain and simple. I don't do it. So he ended up doing it anyway. And you only make it 1,200, and he's supposed to bring home 5,000. And I'm like, but I showed him. I said, see what happens? You see what happens? I told him everything that happened. I told him ahead of time what was going to happen. So that way he learned.
It's called prize fighting for a reason, James, isn't it? You know?
You don't got to tell me that. You got to tell him that.
Yeah.
I know this.
So just to finish off then, James, so what we got planned then for the next 6 months? What does James Hagler world looks like in the next 6 months? What can we expect to hear about?
Well, next 6 months, hopefully going into New Year, you should hear about my launch. I'm gonna do Cincinnati, Ohio first, and then we'll probably go out to Utah, and then I'm gonna go. Then after that, I'm sit back a little bit and see what I want to do, because at the end of the day, it's all about ownership. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take a different turn from all what the other promoters do. You know, everybody does the same thing. I want to take a different turn a little bit and keep the cost down. You know, why not own your own venue?
Yeah.
And do everything there. And plus, I want to do other events besides boxing. So, but boxing will always be my first love. So, but there's other avenues that I want to.
Yeah, I've noticed MMA is an interest of yours, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
MMA, I like MMA, bare knuckles. You know, the slap boxing, even the arm wrestling. The arm wrestling is phenomenal right now.
Yeah, you know, sometimes not all about the you know.
Yeah, especially right. Well, especially out in Europe and stuff. The arm wrestling, you know, they trying to get it. They trying to get it to the in the United States a little bit, but it's hard to deal with. It's hard to work with the guys.
Well, Conor McGregor's just invested in bare knuckle in UK and Ireland. He bought a brand as well, so it's obviously, you know, getting bigger and bigger over in, like you said, Europe and the UK. Right. So there's obviously a market there, right? There's obviously a market.
Yeah. Same thing, because you know Roberto Duran Jr. He's fighting MMA. I mean, bare knuckles. And he's doing well.
A lot of money in it at the minute, isn't there? Like I say, they're drawing some big figures in TV audiences, definitely in Europe.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a market there. So very shrewd move, I'd suggest, James. Very shrewd move.
Oh yeah, you know that's why I'm working with WatchSports.com. You know, with Steve and those guys, and we're gonna try to put something nice together, man. Definitely. So
James, obviously first time on Last World Boxing. If anybody wants to find your social media, how do they find you?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
So obviously the audience, if they want to check your social media channels out, where do they find you? Twitter, Instagram, things like that.
Twitter, James Hagler Promotion. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, WatchSports.com, definitely. LinkedIn, I'm there. I'm on just about all the social media platforms, even Pinterest, I think it's called, TikTok. I'm all over. You could just Google me and go to jameshagler.com website.
And I'll put all the links in the comments below as well, James, so people can click on there and go directly. Okay, so I want to finish off by saying thank you very much for all the support of the channel. It's much appreciated. Thank you for coming on to the channel this evening. Anybody who wants to find more out about Hagler Promotions or what James is up to, I'll put his links in the comments below. This has been Last World Boxing. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
Hold on. I definitely want to say to everybody out there in England, I can't wait to come out there and you know, shake hands and rub elbows with you guys. I do want to do some things out there as well too. So I just want to say hello to everybody in England.
So that's all the more reason, James, for them to keep an eye on your social media for updates, then, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. James, really appreciate you coming on, fella. Okay. First of many interviews, I hope, and I look forward to seeing you in the UK soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.